I am closing down my business for good. It's been 9 years and this is something I should have done sooner. If you've held on to something for so long, but you know you should have let go a long time ago, but you didn't want to look like a failure, then this video is for you. I had a dream and I held on to that dream for way too long. Let's start from the very beginning. I started my career within healthcare. I did all the things. I climbed the, ladder. I was doing quite well in it. However, things changed, life changed, and I wanted to start something different. Things that allowed me to stay at home more or be more present at home. So I set out to start a community specifically for mums, and that was going well. Got some recognition, but it wasn't giving me the income that I wanted. So I decided to let go of that and actually start a proper business. Now, when I say a proper business, what I mean is something that was very flexible, something where I didn't have to ask for permission to, pick up my kids and do all of that. So I then decided to look into freelancing. So I did all the Google research, looked at what I could start, and then I came across website development and supporting businesses with admin. And I was very good with tech, even in my work, good with organizing. I was very good with the operational side and using tech to do all of that stuff. So I set out to do tech support. So I became essentially what we know now as a tech virtual assistant. Back then I just called it, tech support person. That's what I called it. So what I would do is I helped businesses to implement systems into their business, specifically CRM, so client management systems, right? So that's what I was helping businesses with. Why this is so important to note is that I wanted either a job or a business that would allow me that flexibility, but still allow me to work in a professional manner. So I liked the professional side of things. I liked working as a professional. I needed that flexibility. I didn't like feeling like I was controlled because, you have to ask for holidays, you have to ask for time off. If your kid is not feeling well, there's so much you have to get permission for before you have to do it. And that's what I wanted to avoid. So I went down the freelancing route. So I became a freelancer and I got my first client quite quickly, actually. And I helped her set up her client onboarding system. That first client paid me, I think, £97. £97, which was way too low. It was way too low thinking about it now, but I was excited and I did it without actually. All I did was Instagram marketing. All I did was posted, my service, talking about the benefits. It was so much easier to market back then. And I had a sales page and all you had to do was go in there and click. And I remember sitting in my living room and I remember just watching a movie or I was watching TV and I just saw the payment come through, like somebody had just paid. And I was like, wow, is this how it's really done? That was me just I didn't have no mentor, no nothing at that time. It was so easy to do and I built the system out for her, and that client has been a recurring client. Just to go back a little bit, I used to do network marketing, so I had tried a few things prior to starting this business. So when I started this business and that came through, I said, this is it. This is basically the path that I should go. So I started supporting businesses and I was getting clients, but I wasn't getting clients consistently. I joined different kinds of coaching programs. I think that's where the confusion started to get in because I was listening to too many people, but I was still getting clients, right? So I would get clients every now and then, and I was still working part-time as well. So I would do some night shifts and so forth, and then during the day I would work on my business and things. So that's what I was doing for quite a while, and then it came to a point where I didn't want to do those night shifts anymore. I just wanted to kind of focus on the business because I thought I needed more time, and I started getting clients, more and more clients. By this time I decided that I wanted to position myself as a system strategist, and what that means is I am someone who implements systems but is also strategizing how to implement these systems. So I would support businesses with, look, this is how we do it. This is how you're going to get your clients to come in using this system. Doing that, as well as that, I was an online business manager and also doing virtual assistant work as well. I had an online business management client, I had tech virtual assistant clients, and then the system strategy is something that I did across all of my clients anyway. So it was all about systems when it came to supporting clients. And that was going good. Let's say for about a few years that was okay. Like it was okay, but it wasn't as it should have been. I should have been able to scale past a certain threshold, which I didn't. And the reason why is because I wasn't charging enough. And that really held me back when it came to my business. I was working in my business so much, and I was working in the business instead of on the business, right? I wasn't charging enough, and then I still had people that I had to pay. So I grew in terms of I was able to hire people to work with me, but I didn't grow exponentially the way I should have. There's a few reasons as to why that happened, and mostly I would say it's because of imposter syndrome, thinking I wasn't worth it, thinking that I didn't have a degree for this role, so who am I to charge so much? And I thought qualifications mattered in the business world, which it really doesn't. Your experience and the results that you provide is actually what gets you paid. It's not your qualifications. In the corporate world, it's your qualifications plus your experience, right? But in business world, it's the results that you can provide for your clients. And it took me a long time to realize that. Moving forward, I was getting burnt out. I was working so much in my client's business. I'm someone that I guess I like to please my clients, and if something's going wrong, I'm going to fix it. You might not know this, my client might not know this, but I'm on my laptop quickly fixing it at all hours of the night, kind of rushing to meet targets and deadlines. So that was making me feel real burnt out. On top of that, I was able to hire other virtual assistants to work alongside to take some of the work that I didn't want to do. So things like the social media management side of things, I would delegate that to someone else. But that was work that I didn't want to do. The bulk of my work was really the systems part. I focused too much on the systems and building and making sure that I could upgrade my clients' systems and all of those sorts of things. But it burnt me out. Having people who worked with me, they were abroad, right? So I still had to be the center of it all, even though I was having that support. In 2025, I just cancelled all of my contracts and said, you know what, I want to start again. I let go of everyone, which I'm not sure if it was the smartest decision, but I needed to because I couldn't handle it anymore. I couldn't handle the business. I said, you know what, I want to go into consultancy. All I want to do is strategize. I just wanted to support clients to say, this is what needs to be done, because I'm very good at that as well. I can look in someone's business and say, you know what, this is what you need, X, Y, and Z, let's do this. But one thing I didn't realize is I didn't put enough effort into the marketing, and I wasn't ready to pay for any ads. And I'm not saying that I was a bad business owner or anything like that, but I think your top skills when it comes to business is your sales and marketing. That has got to be your forefront of everything, especially if you want to be in business. Everything I'm doing, I've learned myself. So I wouldn't say it's a wasted 9 years, but I'm learning it myself. And as I was trying to transition into consultancy, I think it just became too much. I think the fact that I had been undercharging didn't allow me much space. I believe that going into consultancy was great, but then we're in a world with AI where things are just changing so fast. Like, it's so fast, and it was difficult to maintain that. Even though I had a lot of information, I had a lot of knowledge about the world that we're moving into now, things were just moving too fast for me. As well as that, you get that imposter syndrome. And I think one of the reasons why I quit my tech virtual assistant agency is because I started to chase the shiny object syndrome, right? AI and all of that stuff. And I didn't stick to what was working and just use AI to my advantage rather than kind of changing everything up and trying to rebrand as something else that was really overwhelming because there was constant confusion and constant pivoting. And I think after closing it now, I've just realized that it was chasing the shiny object syndrome that caused me to kind of fail and dip and not have the passion for systems or even doing that kind of business anymore. I held on because I didn't want to fail. It was my dream job to have a business where I was working for myself and I could and still have that sort of professional career supporting other businesses. It hasn't always been glitz and glab. in terms of having a business. So that was really important to note. Yeah, I think the main reason was I just didn't want to look like a failure. I wanted it to work because I knew that, yeah, if I charge right, the results would be amazing for me. Yeah, the passion definitely had went, but I wouldn't say it's because of passion. The energy just wasn't there anymore. And you have to give your business energy. It has to flow from a good place. And that's how I believe it. Got to be something pushing you. I just felt depleted at this point. You know, when you've been trying for something for so long and it just isn't working out. I had doubts as well. I had doubts in my tech virtual assistant agency because I was noticing that businesses were hiring more abroad now. But what I didn't realize was my own value and what I brought to the table. I brought a wealth of experience. I understood my market, but the consultancy was just full of confusion. That was the main thing. I just couldn't put my finger on where I should be, what I should do, who I should target. Again, because I didn't feel qualified. A lot of imposter syndrome was there as well. Even though I had built systems as well, I just didn't feel like the system I had built were sophisticated enough. Like what, the N8N, I don't know if anyone knows that, but these are automation softwares. I've learned how to do N8N now, but I didn't feel like my experience was sophisticated. Knowing that it wasn't from a university or degree or anything like that, I just thought I wasn't qualified enough, which now I know I clearly am because I'm on the other side of it. And I've seen other people, what they do, and it's not even as much as what I do, but hey. What I do know is that if something is for you, you will see signs. And being able to get my first tech virtual assistant really quickly, I think was a sign that that was my lane and I should have stayed in my lane. God is not the author of confusion, which is again what led me to just kind of quit the business. Like I said before, I was changing my mind every single day about my strategy. I was changing who I was going to target. Every day I'll change my method. I mean, literally, I would get on my computer. I would, have consultations with ChatGPT, as you know, and can you imagine ChatGPT will ask me, are you really ready to commit to this for 90 days? And I'll be like, yeah. Then the next day would come and I would go on my computer, look at it and I'll be like, this is not right. It doesn't sound right anymore. Literally every single day. So how am I supposed to grow from that, right? You can't grow from a place of confusion. So that's again what led me to close down my business as well. And the fact of the matter is I wasn't really hearing from God when it came to my consultancy business. I remember when I had my mentor when I was doing my tech virtual assistant agency at the time, and I remember her asking me, do you pray over your business and things like that? And I was like, I even had to ask myself that question, do I? And that hit me. When it came to my consultancy, I couldn't really hear anything from God, and that's the honest truth. I didn't hear. And when God is silent like that, I kind of have this thing where maybe it's something that I'm not meant to pursue. I should have stayed in my lane, right? I didn't lose 9 years. I wouldn't say I lost 9 years. What I would say is I learned exactly who I am, what I can do. I've built so much skills. I have so much valuable skills in terms of operations and building systems with businesses and all that stuff. So I have a lot of experience. I know who I am now. I'm in that next phase of my life where I've had to make that change. Closing down my business does feel like a release. I feel like the bondage has been lifted. Shall I say that? I feel like it has been lifted only because I felt stuck for a very long time. I have more headspace now. I can do other things that I've always been wanting to do. Other passions of mine that I have been excited about. Come to the realization is that I am a creator. My father is a creator as well. And I am my father's child, right? So I'm here to also create as well. In the past, when I was doing my systems agency and consulting, I always said to myself, I'm not creative. I'm not a creator. But obviously, like, we're all a creator in our own industry, right? So you can create something in your own industry. You can build something. I didn't realize the magnitude of the things that I was saying and how it was really holding me back. be careful with what you say about yourself. Be careful how you present yourself. It's so important, because I realize now that I am a creator and I can create. It doesn't have to be like art or anything like that, but I can create in my own way, and that's exactly what I am doing right now, is creating. This is a new beginning. It feels like it. The most important thing that I really want you to take away from this is that holding on to something that is wrong isn't loyalty. It is fear of letting go. And the moment that you stop and you let go of that fear and you change everything, that's when things actually start to change. Let go and try something new. That's the most important thing. This is a new start. So make sure you subscribe and see what happens next.